All right, today on the channel, guys, one that's been a long time coming, our guy Karue. I'm sure if you guys have seen his work. I mean, he's the only guy doing what he's doing on the YouTube aspect of things in tennis. I mean, I think there's really not that many professional athletes in any sport that I see that are as transparent as what he's doing, what the journey looks like, what it really takes to kind of to make your dreams happen of playing at the highest level in any sport. So one of my favorite channels that I mean, it's like the only, I don't watch any TV shows. I don't watch movies.
Don't watch movies?
No.
You don't watch TV shows?
No.
There's so much good stuff out there. What are you doing?
I don't
Stop
know.
scrolling. You gotta watch some TV shows, man. TV shows are the best.
I really don't. Like, I watched like 6 or 7 shows my whole life, and maybe in the last 10 years, maybe 10 movies.
What?
That's it. Yeah. So it's like it's just tennis, man. That's all.
It's just your tennis nut.
That's it. That's
I
it. But
love
this is
that.
the guy that long form content. I don't know if I follow anybody else in there, in the space. So, Karue today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do it. You know, Cleveland levels high.
Yeah.
What's going on with you know, you had a nice off season?
Yeah. First of all, yes, finally we've made it. I think we've only spoken on Instagram and via text. These guys are doing the
1 hour and a half phone call. I think
I know at the airport.
Yeah.
These guys are doing the best cinematography of tennis right now. So that's you guys got to follow them. But yeah,
Appreciate that.
obviously, first tournament in the U.S. This year. Not that many events in the beginning of the year, which can be a little bit annoying. But 2 clean matches. Played some good tennis. Had a good off season, but it's one of those things. You can have a great off season and play terrible. You can have an awful off season and play great.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where it's I try to improve on the things that I felt like I needed to improve in order to make the next jump this year. But again, it's hard to know if you're going to be able to execute them when it matters and play well. But so far this week I've played some good tennis and in a level-headed state of mind, and I think that's been helping me.
What was your big tweet that you had? Is it 2 weeks ago about first serve, second serve? You were saying basically what was the one that you just had?
I just said that nowadays, basically, and that's statistically backed. I use a statistical company that helps me with that stuff. But basically, serving to the backhand on second serves, kicks, has become very inefficient at the highest level. You need to be hitting, basically you have to have almost a 1.5 serve, not a second serve, so you can go 100 mile per hour to the forehand. You see Novak has been doing this for a long time, and I think the rest of the tour has caught up, especially when you move out of the futures. You can still get away with it, but once you're in challengers, you need to have that level of variation and serving to, obviously first serve percentage is still the most important, but statistically going to the forehand with pace versus just kicking it to the backhand, it's better. But it's a hard thing to do because it's literally not what you're taught your entire life.
Kick to the backhand on every second serve.
Kick to the backhand all day. But I'm not saying this needs to happen in the rec league, but I'm saying at the top level, the guys who are able to hit hard to the forehand more often are having a lot more success on the second serve.
So if you don't already, you got to check out Karue on Twitter. I think that's where you've been able to kind of capture more of the casual audience that follows, live events type stuff. And I think you probably gave feedback. I don't know if it was a center backhand line that you saw or whatever it was, but that's something that you've implemented into your game. And I think that you've probably stated that before, is that your backhand line is one of your favorite shots. It's a shot that you executed well today. Just being able to change direction on that ball and shorten up the swing a little bit, redirect. To help you do that this year, you changed sticks. Big offseason change for you. You went from the Yonex Percept, a racket that's, in my opinion, a little bit stiffer, more of a control beam, to a racket that I think is going to, like you said you were looking for, more power, more pop. To hang at this level, you need some more extra freebies.
Yeah.
You tweaked the serve.
Yeah.
You made some changes. Talk about the offseason. What other changes did you make? You went from...
That was it, really. I mean, the racket, it was kind of a last second. I was looking for other rackets, and nothing really felt great. So I was going to stick with the Percept. I played the first 2 events with the Percept because I had literally just gotten my hands on these and didn't have a lot of time to train with them and all that. But I was looking for something.
That's my favorite part of these rackets.
I was looking for something a little bit more maneuverable. First of all, the 100 was great, but it felt a little slow to keep up with the pace of the game. Sometimes the ball's coming fast and low, and you need to be able to whip it, and you need to be able to serve a little bit bigger. And just for me, feeling-wise, a more maneuverable racket that I can like manipulate a little bit more at the top here is going to give me maybe not more power, but like slightly more accuracy, which I had when I was playing with the 95, the V-Core 95. So I was kind of trying to find a balance between those. So that was like big change. I actually did a couple things in the off season. I did a pitching clinic in the off season to like learn baseball pitching.
Pitching.
Yeah,
Wow.
to like learn just learn some exercises for like in speed improvement. I mean it's helping.
Yeah.
To learn some exercises, biomechanics of like throwing things that like, you grow. I've always said that in America, I think Americans have like a big advantage on serving because you grow up throwing things. You grow up throwing baseballs and footballs. Like this is a very natural motion for you. Like pronating, all that stuff. It's like it's so natural, and we don't grow up with that. So we kind of are taught like, weird things. And so like in the off season, I sort of went into trying to get a little slightly better at that. I don't think it's, I still kind of open my hands a little bit too much, but overall it's gotten better. So you have to, you sort of are who you are as a player, but you need to try to find a little edge here and there. And if I can serve a little bit better, a little more accurately, a little more consistently, like in the first serves, I think it would do a good job. And now with this racket, I actually feel like I'm doing that a little bit better. The backhand line I always had it. I could hit the backhand line with a plank. So that's one thing I've always
with the Winston Wilson instinct or whatever he gave you.
Exactly. I can hit the backhand line with a saber like a champion. But I did hit it well today.
No, and I even the cross, like even though it would tighten up the hands a little bit to go flip it cross short angle, that shot worked well for you today. I thought it was interesting though. We had lunch right after your match, and you already had known that you served in the first set 49% on the first serve.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're tracking throughout the match? Like, how did you know that? Did you look at
I just looked at it.
Right
I was just curious because I knew in the first set I didn't hit them. Like I was holding, but I was like, let's say you're holding like a 40-15 all the time, but you're making 2 out of 3. You're below 50%, right? So it's like I was like, I wasn't doing that great, but then I thought in the second set it went like significantly higher, and it was at 69 or 70%. So for me, that's like a really high set. So if I got away with that first set being low, and then improving in the second set. But if I can be in that mid-60s range, to me, it's all I can ask for. So it's the only thing I really track. Everything else, I don't really care.
When you were tweaking the serve of this offseason, are you cognizant of how fast you're serving, or is that something that you don't care? You're trying to hit spots more, or did you know that? Do you kind of know where you're sitting on the pace?
I mean, it's tough because like nothing is very accurate.
I don't think. Yeah.
I thought I was hitting more than like 120, like 125 today, and I never
got.
got.
Places that were 114. I'm like, that's not 114.
That wasn't 14, right?
Yeah.
So I just think they're hard to track. Maybe I'd have to buy something like really nice to be able to track pace. But I think it's just like a feeling. I think I've never been like a huge server. I'm not looking necessarily to be in the 130s. I'd love to be in the 130s, but to me, it's like, can I be hitting 119 to 125 accurately all the time?
Yeah. No, you're hiding with your toss. You don't know really what's
going on.
Yeah,
I'm trying. Like I try to be a little tricky with the toss sometimes to my own detriment. I'll overdo it, but sometimes I will sell the wide, go T, sell the T, go wide, and I need to be figuring out ways to have the guy like not know where it's going. But I thought today, I would imagine I was serving in the 120s like multiple times.
I've seen it enough, and I've heard it. I know what I hit.
Like even Cannon wasn't hitting like 120. And I was like, that's crazy.
Right.
Like I would look and it'd be like 117. I'm like, that's not 117.
I mean, yesterday guys were playing doubles and they were like saying it was like 78, and I'm like, that's not 78 miles an hour. That's no.
So it's like a hard thing to look, but it's just like I think we do it so often that like you can almost see like how quickly it got to the guy. And like, oh, that was big.
With how crucial serving is now, in this stage of where you are in the men's game, you're playing guys that are inside the top 150, 200 consistently now. And we were just talking about this at lunch, is how crucial the serve is. You're going to take 2 weeks off after this event. What are you able to do to simulate that in training? Are you having coach or your sparring partner hit serves from the service or from the service line, or how are you trying to simulate giving yourself chances against these big bots?
I mean, I think to be honest, like
you played a big
returning.
Yanni was ripping the serve.
Yeah, Yanni was ripping. Returning to me always was the easier part because I always had a crappy serve, so I naturally had to have a good return. Yeah. I was always an elite returner. I don't know if now I can still consider
Somehow
myself that.
Somehow elite returner
I
only
think.
got you to 5 or 6 singles at UCLA, but
yeah, but I couldn't serve, so it's like you ask them, like ask how shitty my serve was. Like that's why I was at 4, 5, and 6 because I couldn't serve well. And so to me, it's like I actually on those off weeks, I actually won't return as much. I will keep focusing on the serve because like as much as, again, I don't think I'm like ahead of the curve now on returns. I think everyone has become a better returner. I think to me, it's like if I played 2 matches here without being broken. That's crazy. That never happens, right? So if I can do that,
it's
like
good
that,
stuff for the people there.
Yeah, it's like to me, it's like I'm so much more calm when I'm just holding and playing like big boy tennis. It's like, okay, 2 breaks, 1 for each set. You just hold 6-4, 6-4. Just like the Roger Federer way of playing, right? The guy who would just win 4-4 an hour and 3 minutes. Just like that 1 break and just like hold, done.
The scoreline was close when you look at it was just a break in each set, but you weren't really ever under duress today. Like I didn't really feel like you were stressed on any, like I don't even know how many break points you had, but it wasn't very many at all.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you were playing at your style of play. It didn't really get you out of your rhythm. And I think for you that's the key.
So like to me, it's like if I go in like for 2 weeks off, I'm gonna like let's work on the fitness, let's work on the serve. Everything else, just like I just have to trust that I have.
One thing I saw Lerner Tien do a lot in Australia against guys on second serves, which I thought was. And I don't see really anybody doing this, is like when he's playing Mute, he knows Mute wants to hit the lefty slider serve. Yeah. He's literally standing way out there, making him hit T.
Just go T.
Medvedev, same thing. He knows Medi wants to go to here, so he was just making his target so small on second serves especially, and being like, if you want to crack one on the second, like so be it. But like, I'm like, is that something that you would implement into your game when you play against some of these bigger servers?
Absolutely.
Is changing it up?
Yeah, I mean, like if you see today, like, I think Cannon has like an unbelievably good slider. Yeah. And so if I back up, I just feel, can I swear?
No one's gonna stop you here.
I just feel fucked. Yeah. Like I'm just like back there, he's gonna cut me out wide, I'm gonna run, and then he's gonna open court, and we're gonna do this like all day. And so depending on the player, like you're gonna either tighten the baseline a little bit, it's like, hey, beat me T, or beat me wide, or he was still like ripping me through the tee, but I like returning is like this. It's almost like being a goalkeeper, like during a PK shootout. It's like you're gonna take one side and you're gonna take your medicine and hopefully like you make the right decision, the right guess, and the right time, and you connect, or you keep enough pressure that they miss on the right moment and they miss the first serve and then you have a second serve look. So it's a cat and mouse game that I've always been like fond of, that I enjoy playing, the cat and mouse game, because you're not supposed to win every point when you're returning anyways. Yeah. So you might as well just like goof around and try stuff. So like if I'm playing Lerner, maybe that's what you do. Like I'm just gonna cover wide the entire time. Like, hey, beat me just going flat.
And it just messes with, even at this level, it still messes with these guys.
It's gonna mess with it. Because most players don't own all the serves like perfectly. No. You know what I mean? Like there's like some guys have more, like where does he feel like they're gonna go when it's under pressure? Like you can see that they like to cut a little bit more. You can see that they under pressure they go bigger on the second serve or things like that. So it's
the body serve is not the body serve if you're lining up.
The body serve doesn't work. No. Don't worry about body serving. It's just unless you can hit 145 body, it doesn't work. It's
you don't
just
think
no.
Someone like you doesn't get jammed very easily.
No. It has to be too big
Yeah.
for it. It has to be too big and too
You gotta have
perfect
the Ben Shelton bomb.
for it to work. Otherwise, the body
breaks in the
surf is
sands.
basically useless.
Yeah.
Again, statistical things that we looked
Yeah.
that they basically said, don't worry about body surf.
Interesting.
Just serve close to the line.
You made a big decision this past week. I don't know if you've announced it on your channel or not, but you decided to kind of forego the Davis Cup to come here to get points, to chase your goal of playing the slams. I know we talked about, but like, what was that decision tough for people? Like, I know people think Davis Cup, and I think Davis Cup used to have a certain aura around it and like a novelty to it.
Yeah.
I think maybe, at least just my opinion, it's kind of lost some of that.
Yeah.
There are other team events that have more juice. Was that a decision that was tough? I mean, but you're on a different mission right now.
Yeah, I think it was just, that was what I said. I said, like, look, I'm in a position right now where it's like I'm chasing playing Grand Slams, and I never done that before. That's my one goal in this sport still. And, you know, like, this was going to require me to be in France all week. I wasn't going to play. I was going to be a hitting partner, and you know, it was going to be a really fun like environment, I'm sure. But I think it would have been more meaningful for some of the other players.
They were looking for you to mentor Fonseca.
Yeah, I was going to go teach him how to hit forehands. No, I think in general, to me, like, again, like I'm at a certain age where it's like I don't have like too much time left to accomplish my personal goals. And if I were in a position to be playing in Davis Cup, obviously I'd play, but I'd be there more as a support, as hitter, and all that stuff. And I'm just not there right now. And I think for some of the other younger Brazilian players around my ranking, that week is going to mean more to them than for me. I've been away from Brazil for the longest time. You know, my roots are in America, and so to me, I wanted to come here, give myself a chance to, you know, I haven't played that many matches all year, so I want to play as many matches as I can to move before, you know, the season ramps up.
And nothing was more relatable than when you posted that picture on your story of all the supplements that you bring on the road with you to recover. I'm like, once you hit that age that we're at right now, it's like,
oh, dude, it's so annoying.
To feel fresh, you got to just do a little bit more before and after and recover. And that's why I was like, we got to keep this interview somewhat brief. I know that recovery.
No, you're good.
I've
been like horizontal for like 90% of the time while I'm in Cleveland. I was like kind of sick coming into it, so I was like, oh my god, like I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to play. Thank God I didn't play Monday because I was still feeling like crappy on Monday, and finally turned around on Tuesday. So yeah, it's harder and harder. Like the travel to, you know, beats you up. You know, any bad night of sleep beats you up. So
I didn't believe in jet lag.
Annoying.
I never believed in jet lag until Australia. Like I didn't think I thought jet lag was people that was like they're soft. Like, you just don't be soft. Like if you want to travel for your livelihood, like just do it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden when I went to Australia, day 4, I'm like they're like the bus is gonna be here at 8:00 a.m. and they called me like 7. I'm like, the bus is gonna have to go without me. Like I'm cooked. Like day 4 just hit me, and then like it took me a week to recover on the way. I'm like, so now I'm able to relate to what you guys are able to go through, like what you guys have to go through to just put yourselves in position. It's just like it really does take a toll.
Very hard. It's very hard,
toll.
especially if you're playing, like, you know, let's say you lose here on a Friday and you have to fly to Europe to play Monday or Tuesday. Like, you know, like you get there by like Sunday morning or something like that, and it's a very difficult, you know, the like geography of the whole of playing tennis is very difficult.
We know what your goals are a little bit from your channel. You've been open and transparent about what you want to do with your tennis. What, for 2025, any goal or new things you want to try on the channel?
On the channel, I want to do like some more live streams, like maybe live stream some matches, not like pro tournament matches, just like get a couple players. Let's live stream like a match for like $10,000. Like find like a sponsor or something, have some fun.
We had an idea. I think the content tournament.
The content tournament would be fun.
I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, but like I'll just beat the shit out of all of
I
them.
need somebody.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
Somebody asked me how many games did you take off Karue. I'm like, dude, he's top. What do you mean? Like, there's nothing I can do that he's.
No, it's more like the channel is tricky.
You need a different role in that tournament.
Yeah,
you can't be in there. We got to separate you from it.
No, the channel is tricky because like obviously I want to continue to make like the videos with the matches and stuff like that, but I also like, you know, by the time I'm able to finish those videos, like the match is like 2 weeks old, I feel like sometimes people don't care anymore at that point. Like it's hard to to make like a proper video with me commenting maybe on the match, stuff like that in due time. So I'm trying to like work around the fringes and see like if there's any interesting stories within the tournaments, within my training routine, within, you know, I'm going to do a video about the pitching clinic. It's coming. It's just like we're waiting on something. But so like I think those are kind of interesting stories that are sort of around the matches. The matches are obviously fun, but like people can watch them online. As soon as they're over, they're on YouTube. Some guy already clipped them, or AI clipped it in like 2 seconds. It's already on YouTube. So it's like crazy. It's like it's so fast. I don't even know what's happening.
They'll like the Not Your Country Club Carousel collab that's coming after this. I got enough clips from this match that I think we got something cooking.
I need to get some of those clips.
No, I got you.
So I know I want to, if I could, I would like make like fewer videos but better videos, and that's might be the goal. But all in all, you know, I just got to keep up with, you know, if I can do cooler things, meaning maybe play Rio, maybe play a Grand Slam.
That would be so. Yeah.
That's a cool video, obviously. And
pretty soon he's gonna be looking for one of you young interns out there that does video.
I know. I'm gonna need like a filming team with me.
Yep. That's coming.
But so yeah, so it's like it depends on what I'm doing. If I find it cool and inspiring, I'll make the videos. If sometimes like this week I came in again, like I said, I was kind of sick. I was so cooked coming in that I was like, I am not filming anything this week. We're just gonna like hopefully play tennis and survive. But that in itself, it's like can be a fun like little story. You know what I mean? Like if I'm able to do it on the tournament, I'm already in the quarters, but if I can continue to go through it. So yeah, just channel's been growing like quickly now, and hopefully we can get to 200K this year, and that's the main goal, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, so you got to go follow
YouTube. I'm terrible on Instagram. Like, follow me for the stories because I try to post a lot of stories. That's when you'll see me like in real time because obviously the YouTube everything is a little delayed. But YouTube is my platform. I like to make long form YouTube content, and hopefully I can keep doing that.
I'm gonna try to turn this around quickly. So where can fans be like after Cleveland? Hopefully you take your challenger maiden title, and then where you're gonna take 2 weeks off. You said where will fans be able to kind of tune into your story next?
So yeah, I'll play. I'm signed up for Glasgow, 75K there, or potentially Rio Open if they give me a card, give me a wild card Rio Open for the qualies. Chill, you know. It doesn't have to be main draw. Like qualies is fine.
Rio's a cool place, yeah.
So Rio's a cool place. I'd love to play that, but if not, I'll play Glasgow, San Diego. San Diego has 100K there, so I'll play those two. And from there, I am not sure, actually. So, you know, we'll just go 1 month at a time here.
Yeah,
the schedule is a little bit off. There's some stuff in Mexico, but I don't know if I'm able to go there on it. And so, yeah, so that's where we're going to be at. So I'm going to take a couple weeks just to, like, again, like really get my body right. If it's was feeling a little off before coming here. Train a little bit with the new sticks. Just got a little bit more acclimated with it, and then go back at it. I try to play 2 events a month. I know it's maybe not what every professional does, but you know, I'm married, I have dogs. I can't be on the road 6 weeks in a row like that. Like it's mentally bad for me. It's mentally bad for my wife, and it's not something I want to put her through. So I can play 2 weeks to 3 weeks in a month. You know, and just like go in mentally fresh. I think that's to win.
That's it, though. That's what it allows you to do. Is it allows you to get excited for each tournament.
Exactly, I'm excited for the tournament. If I'm just there, like, then you know, I don't function well like that, and I learned that about myself. So I'm not forcing it. I don't want to force it. I'm like 2 events, maybe a third, like if it's nearby, or maybe the results haven't come, so maybe I'll throw in 1 more. Like this month, I've done 3 now. First 2 and now this one, but it's one of those, like, to me that's how it's working, and I'm gonna trust it, even though, you know, a lot of people say you have to play 35 weeks a year. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to put a bullet through your head if you want to do that too. So I would, to me, I just like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I'm not 21 anymore. I don't have that. I just want to play when I'm excited to play. You know.
I think it's working for you. I mean, it seems to be working for you. You're going to be close to 250. I think after this week, depends on what goes on.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, but no, this has been a long time coming, and super hyped to finally link up in real life and to keep going, bro.
Absolutely.
Been enjoying the journey.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate
Keep watching these dudes. They're doing some good stuff.
My man. Appreciate
Do
it.
it.